Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Auntie Derek's Daytime Tea, where we discuss the latest celebrity tea in the news. And we do it live every weekday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Chatmosa. I'm your host, Auntie Derek, and today is what's today? Wednesday, December 24th, which makes that Christmas Eve. Oh my God. So happy Christmas Eve to all of you who celebrate. Yeah, I cannot believe we are here at this time of year already. But shout out to you all and shout out to the listeners in the chat. So as of right now, we don't have any co-hosts on the mic with me. It's just me by myself. But that's okay, baby. We still have our listeners in the chat that are very entertaining. And trust me, I'm sure they're going to be reading me in the chat like they always do. So shout out to my babies in the chat. And shout out to my hot tea cold cash giveaway. And let me get the link here. For the giveaways, terms, and conditions, head over to auntiederek.com/hot tea cold cash. Again, that is auntiederek.com/hot tea cold cash. So until January 19th of next year, I'm giving away $100 to one lucky winner one lucky supporter of this show. And how you gain interest into this giveaway, you RSVP to every upcoming live show. You attend every live show and stay in its entirety, and you share my show on social media with the hashtag Auntie Derek. So do all of that. You have a chance of getting 3 entries per day. And don't forget to stay in the know by subscribing to a bitch. So head over to auntiederek.com and hit the big green subscribe button at the top left. All right, honey. So I think we could just go ahead and jump straight into the tea. Let me do my best chill impression. It's tea time. I'm gonna leave it a chill. She does it better. But anyway, we like to start with some Diddy news, honey. And this first piece of news, I'm actually gagged over a little bit. So I have this all hip hop exclusive here, and you all should see where it says Diddy sex cowboy is not a victim of Mogul or Cassie, says the Fed. So y'all remember Clayton Howard, the sex worker who took the stand during the Diddy trial, but now he's also suing them as well, claiming that he contacted an STD during one of the freak offs and all of that. And he even tried to say that he was a victim and Cassie's not innocent in all of this because she even orchestrated some of their get-togethers. Well, the feds say, nigga, knock it off. We ain't trying to hear none of that. So, a male sex worker who had freak-offs with Diddy and Cassie and ended up with a sexually transmitted disease is facing stiff opposition from the government in his quest to be labeled a victim of the ex-couple. Federal prosecutors say Clayton Howard, a self-described male sex worker who once testified before a grand jury about Diddy's notorious freak-offs, isn't legally a victim of anyone. In a December 23rd filing to Judge Arun Subramanian, prosecutors argued Howard does not qualify as a victim under the Crime Victims' Rights Act, even though he was counted as one under sentencing guidelines in Diddy's criminal case. The Justice Department is pushing back hard, saying the freak-off participant was not directly and proximately harmed. I'm sure I just tore that word up. Anyway, by Diddy's crimes and by his own admission, was a paid escort who willingly joined those events. Howard advertised commercial sex services, the filing said, noting he has self-published a book and made multiple media appearances describing his experiences. Howard's relationship with the government began in December of 2023 when he contacted a friend of Cassie Ventura, claiming to have information about her civil suit against Diddy. During interviews, Howard admitted he was a commercial sex worker who took part in Diddy and Cassie's freak-offs between 2010 and 2017 and described witnessing violence by Diddy against Cassie during those encounters. Prosecutors said Howard participated in at least 6 interviews before he testified to a federal grand jury in March of 2025. But just before the trial, his lawyer told the government that testifying again would hurt Howard's mental health. By May of 2025, Howard had switched attorneys and neither side called him as a witness at Diddy's trial. So, and I need to correct myself. So I say he testified at the trial. No, he testified at the grand jury. So my mistake. Anyway, after Diddy was convicted of 2 Mann Act offenses in July of 2025, the court counted Howard and other male escorts who traveled interstate for freak-offs as victims for sentencing purposes, but not under the federal crimes victim statute. Once the verdict came down, Howard started pressing the Justice Department for documents proving his victim status. He also sought help applying to the Backpage Remission Program, which compensates verified trafficking victims. Prosecutors say that Diddy was never charged with trafficking Howard, and that Howard's claims of sexual exploitation were aimed chiefly at Cassie Ventura, who was legally recognized as a victim, not a perpetrator of a crime. In recent public statements and filings, Howard has accused federal prosecutors, including Maureen Comey, of using his story to secure a conviction against Diddy and then ignoring him once the case ended. He says the government denied him rights under the Crime Victims Rights Act and blocked him from testifying about Cassie's alleged role. In his separate civil lawsuit against Diddy and Cassie filed in June of 2025, Howard claims he was sexually trafficked, assaulted, and infected with herpes after being manipulated into unprotected sex and drug use at the couple's private gatherings. He's seeking $20 million in damages. Okay. Okay, so my thing is right. My thing, because I was actually really listening to him. I wanted to even hear like a lot of his story until into that one thing where he said that when Cassie was allegedly pregnant by him and she didn't alert him of that abortion that she had, terminating his baby. And I'm like, so are you the type of sex worker who does this with all of your clients, or is it just Cassie? Because I just like that really wasn't a good look. So any chance that you had of me like looking at you as a victim, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. You one of them. I don't know. So there you go. There now you got a lifelong souvenir to take back with them herpes, honey, allegedly. So and that's actually not the first time I've heard the H word when it comes to Diddy and Diddy's partners and stuff like that. So allegedly, I'm just saying I have heard that word come up before. And not from Clayton, from other people. Well, that's that on that, honey. The feds say, "Nigga, knock it off. You're not a victim." Well, not in this case. Now, when we wanted to, get Diddy's ass, out the paint, you was a victim then because you were one of the clients that he used for one of them freak offs. But now you trying to, no, baby, you're not a victim. Go sit down. According to the feds. Well, what's this next story I got for y'all, honey? Oh, speaking of Judge Arun Subramanian, honey. Speaking of Judge Arun, Diddy is not happy with him. And Diddy is currently filing an appeal over there from Fort Dix, honey. And y'all should see I have this TMZ article where it says Diddy files new appeal, says judge acted as a quote unquote 13th juror with harsh sentence. So, Diddy's legal team is ripping Judge Arun Subramanian, accusing him of crossing a line with a 50-month sentence and acting more like a juror than a judge. Diddy filed a new appeal late Tuesday evening, demanding his conviction be overturned and his release from prison, or at the very least, his sentence be lightened. While his lawyers have previously filed multiple appeals, this one singles out Judge Subramanian for acting as the 13th juror in Diddy's criminal trial. In the docs, lead appeal attorney Alexandra Shapiro claims the judge's draconian 50-month sentence is based on the conduct for which the actual jurors acquitted Diddy, namely the racketeering and sex trafficking counts. Shapiro claims Subramanian incorrectly said during sentencing he could consider Diddy's behavior related to the more violent charges, even though he'd been acquitted of them, which she calls a violation of Diddy's constitutional rights. Diddy's insisting his sentence should only be based on the 2 counts of violating the Mann Act, transporting individuals for a purpose of prostitution, for which he was convicted. In previous appeals, Diddy's team has also argued he did not actually set up the travel or payment for the male prostitutes and therefore did not violate the Mann Act. Federal prosecutors still have a couple of months to respond before the case can go before the appellate court. Poor thing. He's trying his damnedest to get the hell up out them balls, honey. Go ahead and stay in there, eat your cornichon. Ain't they having cornichon? No, I think that's tomorrow's meal. Some kind of a holiday treat that they supposed to be having over there at Fort Dix, which we talked about here before. So, and I have to say, the judge actually did not act like a 13th juror. He actually did act like a judge. He took all the information that he had and made a very uh educated decision, in my opinion. You remember we followed that trial from the rooter to the tutor and read everything. And he, from the time that he had to check Diddy for trying to, like, doing those weird noises and trying to intimidate the witnesses on the stand, he had to check Diddy for that. And so he wasn't acting like a 13th juror. He was definitely acting like a judge. And pretty much, and when he gave his sentencing, he gave a really nice he broke it down. And what they're looking like, what Shapiro is looking like she's trying to do is trying to take that statement and just trying to, split gray hairs. Girl, it's not going to work, but I mean, I can't blame her. She's doing what an attorney's supposed to do. So, oh, we have a comment saying execute him. Oh, well, that's that on that, honey. Well, I know he's feeling a way that his friend Sebastian Telfair has been released from the same jail he was just at. And y'all see I have this link here from TMZ. And you should see where it says Sebastian Telfair released from prison. I was about to say Telfar. He's not a bag. He's a basketball player. Well, ex NBA player Sebastian Telfair got a special holiday gift. He's out of prison. TMZ Sports has learned the 40-year-old was released from the Bureau of Prisons custody this week after spending the past few months at Fort Dix FCI in New Jersey. Telfair said he's feeling good and rehabilitated now, telling Antoinette Media he's ready to get home to his loved ones after taking care of himself. Telfair was ordered to some time in the slammer for violating the conditions of his supervised release in connection to his healthcare fraud case. Telfair did have at least one encounter with his longtime acquaintance, Diddy, while at Fort Dix, as we obtained pics of them having a chat on the yard in November. Of course, Telfair and Sean Combs hail from the Big Apple and made big names for themselves in their respective fields. Now, Telfair can look forward to keeping his nose clean as he puts the past behind him. As we reported back in August, Telfair will have some conditions to meet, like abstaining from drugs and alcohol, so no spiked eggnog for the Hooper. He'll also have to take a class and write a paper on what he's learned and how he'll apply it to his finances. In other words, he's got to make sure he's on Santa's nice list for the next few years. So I have to say, when it comes to crimes, like, because what he was convicted of healthcare fraud, right? He wasn't convicted of anything that had to do with behavior from, like, alcohol related incidents or any type of drug related. So he was, but when he gets out and he has these really strict release, like he can't even have a drink, can't even have some eggnog. Now I can see if, like, he was in jail for, like, getting drunk and beating on a woman or something. That's one, yeah. Keep alcohol far away from that motherfucker. But no, I mean, hey, I don't know. My knowledge of the law is learned through Law Order SVU. I say that all the time. But yeah, I wonder if Diddy's feeling away, honey, about that. Be like, damn, we was just talking and now he gone. Mm-mm. And y'all got to see, honey, whoever did his braids in that jail, honey. Matter of fact, let me show this video real quick so y'all can. They hooked him up and them braids was fresh, honey. I gather he must didn't know he was coming out, but them, well, they ain't that fresh. They look like maybe a week old, but fresh enough.
Yeah. I feel good, feel rehabilitated. Did what I had to do, took care of myself. Now I'll get back to my babies.
Okay. Get back to your babies, honey. That is that on that, honey. Oh, bitch, this next story, honey. Baby, when it comes to Sharon Moore, when it rains, it pours, honey. And I have to say, before last week, I did not, y'all know I'm not a sports fan. I didn't know who this man was. Now I know way more about this man, this man than I care to. So y'all should see this next story that I'm posting here by way of all hip hop. Sharon Moore's problems multiply fivefold as more women come forward. Bitch. He was just being a straight creep at work, allegedly. Making close to $6 million a year being a creep at work, allegedly. Well, Sharon Moore faces mounting accusations from five women who say the disgraced musician. Great, excuse me. Let me restart this. I'm sorry. Sharon Moore faces mounting accusations from five women who say the disgraced Michigan coach made unwanted advances over several years. The 39-year-old married father was fired from his $5 million coaching job and arrested for home invasion and stalking after allegedly breaking into his assistant's apartment. The latest claims paint Moore as someone who used social media to target women with inappropriate messages. One woman said Moore slid into her DMs on November 1st, right after his team beat Purdue. She thought it was a fake account at first. Moore would respond to women's Instagram stories with fire emojis and ask, "How do we start following each other?" when he followed them first. In one exchange, he offered to fly a woman to Michigan. When she asked if she'd be holed up at some hotel, Moore replied, "I guess we'll have to see. I would say yes, but you would have to have a driver. Ha ha." The coach's questionable behavior extends beyond recent allegations. Moore attended a party hosted by Diddy in 2018, according to his own social media post. And as we know, the music mogul was sentenced to 50 months in federal prison this year after being convicted on charges related to transporting people for prostitution. Moore's downfall began when Michigan fired him for having an inappropriate relationship with the executive assistant, Paige Shiver. Hours later, he allegedly broke into her apartment and threatened to kill himself. Police arrested him on charges and breaking and entering, home invasion, and stalking. The coach spent 2 nights in jail before posting a $25,000 bond. If convicted on all counts, he could face up to 6 years behind bars. He has pled not guilty to all charges. His lawyer, Ellen Michaels, said Moore denies any criminal wrongdoing and called the allegation speculation. Moore's wife, Kelly, appears to be standing by him despite the scandal. The couple has 3 children together. Hun, we have a comment just like a nigga. Exactly. And I can't stand it. Y'all got to come up with something else for real, honey. Because that has actually happened to me a few times where motherfuckers just be popping in my DM. Hey, how we follow each other? First of all, I don't follow anybody unless I know them. So let's start there. I personally don't follow. Now, if someone follows me and I look through that person's and they seem like they're okay and they're not a bot and they interact and stuff like that, then yeah, I'll follow them back. But no, don't come up to me talk because this honey that it's happened several times, and we all know what they're trying to get the end result to be. So stop that shit. Come up with something else. Yeah, tell a bitch you can come on me say I'm pretty or some shit or give me a compliment. Don't be saying how we follow each other like you don't know. We follow each other because you follow me first and I follow back. Look, that don't work. Well, it won't work on me. It won't work on me either, honey, and it don't. Look, I be playing dumb. I actually played dumb. I was like, oh, I don't know. Must be a Twitter mistake. The fuck. But anyway, yeah, with fire emojis and I wondered like if one of those Instagram DMs ever like turned into something. And quiet as it kept, that's what your fucking ass should have been doing. You should have like flew them girls out, maybe put them up in a hotel room instead of fucking around at work, shitting where you eat, like nigga. I let me stay out straight people business, child. Uh, well, out of curiosity, did any of you ever hear anything about 50 Cent allegedly producing another documentary, but this time with LeBron James? Like this time, did y'all ever hear anything about that? I saw like a post about it, but I'm like, this don't sound because one, why would LeBron, if he's still active in the NBA right now, why would he be doing like and then it goes on it was a rumor say, oh no, it's not that kind of documentary, it's that kind of documentary, the same kind of that did it produce for 50, alleging that LeBron may have done some things, some strange things for some change. Well, I hate to burst y'all bubble, but this is all Bullshit. It's all fake. There will not be a LeBron documentary. So I have this link here from All Hip Hop. And you should see where it says 50 Cent's LeBron James documentary rumor explained. So 50 Cent got the internet all in a tizzy over an alleged LeBron James doc lit this week. And thanks to social media, here we are. Fans believe a Netflix documentary about LeBron James is in the works. The buzz started moved. I'm sorry. The buzz started moved, and I thought people had noses to smell bullshit like this. This stinks. The source of the nonsense was a Twitter account called Hoops Crave, which posted photos of 50 Cent and LeBron James, claiming 50 was set to produce a Netflix documentary. This one ain't about basketball, was the caption. The narrative was Bron said something about the Diddy doc and inferred that there was something on him to be unearthed. Hoops Crave is a parody account, and even that plainly is in his bio. It has nothing to do with the official site Pop Crave, and nobody is even looking at that. Even in the parody world, they are not credible. They're not the Onion, and parody warnings don't get seen after the post goes viral. So it then says, "Fake is as fake does," and they have the Let me share my screen. Not that y'all care, but this was the alleged Photoshop thing. They say, "Hey LeBron, stop acting like you innocent. You next, and it ain't about basketball, champ." But you can even tell this fake because look at the date is supposedly in 2023 in October. So yeah, it's bullshit. There is no LeBron James documentary now. As far as we know, LeBron James is not someone who sexually assaults people. So we haven't. He's a happily married man. And shout out to Savannah. We love Savannah. Ooh, we have a comment going, girl. Exactly. Well, speaking of 50 Cent, I think we kind of know his character from over the years, right? And I know if you were to ever have a public back and forth with him, would you, knowing what you know about 50 or what you have read about him, would you try to ever like go down that route again? I know I wouldn't, but that's just me. Well, I guess Big Meech is not thinking that way because he actually did reach out to 50 looking to work again. And what 50 do in classic 50 fashion? Clown him. So you'll see where I just shared here by way of hot new hip hop. 50 Cent clowns Big Meech for reaching out to him over DMs. 50 Cent called out Demetrius Big Meech Flannery on his Instagram page Tuesday. In doing so, he shared a screenshot of Meech allegedly reaching out to him and asking to work together again in his DMs. Work on what? He's an actor. He don't want to sell dope, fool. You watching too much Force. 50 caption in the screenshot. And for those who don't know, Force is the Power spinoff with Tommy. Anyway. So despite collaborating on the iconic Star series BMF, 50 Cent and Big Meech had a major falling out earlier this year. 50 complained about Meech and his son, Demetrius Little Meech Flannery Jr., linking up with his longtime rival, Rick Ross. While Lil Meech tried to de-escalate the situation, 50 doubled down, labeling Big Meech a rat in numerous posts online. 50 Cent even criticized Big Meech for not being more supportive of Lil Meech's acting career. Why old boy didn't look out for Mimi and send him to acting school, Big Screech, he wrote in one post called by All Hip Hop. All your people that was out and did nothing for him. You come home thinking you the black Pablo Escobar and fucked him up. I helped your family make over 5 million legit dollars. It's not my fault. It's all gone. You think people don't want to see you shine so bad? You're wearing the baby's jewelry. Bitch, give the baby back his jewelry. Let me see. Big Meech and Little Meech are far from the only people 50 Cent has been feuding with on social media as of late. Following the release of his new Netflix documentary, Sean Combs The Reckoning, he's been trading shots with tons of critics of the project. These have included Ja Rule, Marlon Wayans, and many more. The documentary details numerous allegations against Diddy, which the bad boy mogul has already denied. He's currently residing behind bars after being convicted on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution earlier this year. Mm-mm. So, my man. Like, I mean, I just don't understand like why we've even seen like people who were in G Unit, like when they had a falling out with 50 and they try to maybe tuck their tails in and go back and he publicly embarrassed them. Like this is just that's what he does. I don't well, and maybe we should give Big Meech the benefit of the doubt because he did spend what 2 decades in jail. So maybe he truly didn't notice. I wouldn't see why he wouldn't know this, but maybe he truly didn't know that. Maybe he thought 50 was I don't know. I don't know. This is one of those other straight people businesses I need to stay out of, honey. Well, this next story, every time something comes up about this, it's always laughable. It looks like, what is this man doing? Tyrone Blackburn, honey. The attorney that's currently suing he's Terrence Dixon's lawyer who's suing Fat Joe at the moment. And remember, Tyrone Blackburn was the one who allegedly ran over that process server with his car. Child, well, it looks like Fat Joe is actually trying to use the Diddy case for his inspiration in his legal battle against Tyrone Blackburn. So y'all see, I just shared another exclusive by way of All Hip Hop. Fat Joe invokes Diddy case to smack sanctions on Tyrone Blackburn over AI slop. Mm-mm. Well, Fat Joe is calling on a federal judge to penalize attorney Tyrone Blackburn, citing a recent ruling tied to Diddy that fined the lawyer for once again using unverified AI generated legal citations in court filings. The Bronx rapper demand comes amid his ongoing $20 million defamation lawsuit against Terrence T.A. Dixon and Blackburn, Dixon's attorney. Joe's legal team accuses Blackburn of repeatedly submitting court documents containing fabricated or distorted legal citations, excuse me. Joe's attorney pointed to a November ruling in a separate case involving April Gardner, who sued Combs. Gardner claims Combs raped her in 1991 after luring her to his New York apartment, drugging her, and sexually assaulting her. She also alleges he used threats and influence to silence her. As reported by All Hip Hop, the lawsuit centers on alleged sexual violence during Combs' early rise in the music business. Blackburn, who represents Gardner, came under scrutiny in that case after citing a fabricated court decision. The judge confirmed the case does not exist and said the error stemmed from Blackburn's use of generative AI without proper fact checking. Despite being alerted to the issue, Blackburn failed to correct the filing, and that misstep led to sanctions. The court ordered Blackburn to cough up $6,000 to inform his client of the penalty and to report the sanctions to the legal authorities in New York and New Jersey. Stupid, huh? Stupid. Anyway, now Fat Joe's lawyers argued that Blackburn's conduct in the Gardner case mirrors his actions in Joe's lawsuit almost perfectly. The Bronx's rappers' attorneys also highlighted Blackburn's prior discipline in another case involving defamation claims tied to TD Jakes. In that matter, Blackburn was also sanctioned and fined for using AI generated slop. Joe's team says the pattern is troubling, especially given the gravity of the claims in the current defamation case. Dixon claims Fat Joe forced him into thousands of sex acts and other misconduct tied to his past business dealings with Joe, which the rapper flatly denies. Fat Joe is urging the court to impose sanctions strong enough to prevent what he calls repeat misconduct from Tyrone Blackburn. Now, I must say, y'all know I am not a Fat Joe fan whatsoever, honey. I am when in fact, I if I don't have to hear anything else about Fat Joe for the rest of my days, I will be good. However, when it comes to this, he's absolutely right. This is crazy. The fact that your ass got caught doing that shit before, you were fined for doing that shit before, and you had to report it to the New York and New Jersey legal authorities, Tyrone Blackburn. The first time I would have gotten, if I would have tried to get away with using some AI shit and the court read me for that shit for filth the first time, oh baby, I would have put the stop to that shit the first time. Oh, but no, not him. He goes on to do it that we know of 2 more times. Nigga. Nigga. Girl. I Ooh, child. Mm, mm. I really don't have words. This is egregious. It's like are you trying to lose your license? Like, yes, I think he is. But first the AI generated mess, and then the running over process service, which server with your damn car, allegedly. Nigga, what are you doing? Ooh, child. Well, that's that on that, honey. Ooh, I couldn't wait to talk about this story, honey, because currently we have someone who's a card carrying member of the Lamb Billy. A shout out to the lambs everywhere. Shout out to Mariah Carey, the queen, the Aries mother. Oh, we have a comment saying "fuck fat ass Joe." To be honest, yes, but the queen, the Aries queen that is Mariah Carey. Shout out to her, and shout out to the Queen of Christmas. She actually has her a holiday win, honey, over the song, her iconic song "All I Want for Christmas Is You." So y'all should see what I just shared here by way of TMZ. Mariah Carey scores legal win in "All I Want for Christmas" copyright lawsuit. Yay! So Mariah Carey may have some extra Christmas cash this year because the judge who dismissed the lawsuit filed against her over her popular Christmas song just ordered the folks who dragged her to court to pay her more than $92,000 in sanctions. According to new legal docs obtained by TMZ, the judge ordered sanctions against the people who filed the action against Mariah, finding it lacked merit and determining there was good reason to deter people from filing baseless lawsuits. The doc show Mariah was awarded $92,303.20 in sanctions, and several thousands more were ordered to be paid to other parties involved in the case, bringing the total tab to nearly $110,000. As we reported, Mariah was sued in November of 2023 by Andy Stone and Troy Powers, who claimed Mariah copied their 1989 song, All I Want for Christmas Is You. The men were going after Mariah for at least $20 million in damages, but the judge tossed the lawsuit in March and has now hit their counsel with the sanctions. Don't play with her. Don't play with the queen, honey. And now y'all got to pay up. You got to come out of them pockets almost over $100,000. You know good and well Mariah didn't. Matter of fact, I want to hear that. Do they have a I think they got a. No, this is Mariah's version. I want to hear the Andy Stone version because I want to see if it even sounds even remotely. Let's see. All I Want for Christmas, Andy Stone, 1989. Okay. Let me see. And I'm going to, hey, Chili. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm just going to play a few seconds of it to see if there's like any similarities. And it looks like the song is by Vince Vance and the Valiants. Hmm. Okay, let's see.
Take back the holly and milk.
Oh, girl, bye. Girl, bye. I see exactly why that shit was thrown out. Girl, bye. That didn't even sound remotely. Girl, bye. Pay Mariah her money and get out her face. Good evening.
She trying to say that sound like "All I Want for Christmas" by Mariah.
Yeah, well, yes, the two people who wrote the song, they tried to sue that and saying that Mariah sue her for copyright infringement. So
Yeah.
that case was dismissed back in March, and now these people have to pay Mariah sanctions.
What?
Mm-hmm. For playing around with the court people time.
Right.
Crazy. Well, speaking of some more legalities, honey, our next story, baby, when I tell you Megan Thee Stallion is not playing with Milagro and I love to see it because Milagro gave her a hard ass time, and I'm glad she is returning the favor.
Mm.
So y'all should see I have this link here by way of All Hip Hop, which is another exclusive. Megan Thee Stallion goes after Milagro Grams to have defamation charge reinstated. She said, I ain't done with you yet, girl. She is not letting that hell go. So Megan Thee Stallion is back in court demanding a Florida judge reinstate, Megan Thee Stallion is back in federal court demanding a Florida judge reinstate her defamation verdict against blogger Milagro Grams after it was tossed out over a media defendant technicality. The Grammy winning rapper accused Grams of waging an online smear campaign bankrolled by Tory Lanez family. Megan's attorney said the jury had already ruled in her favor on all counts, including defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and promotion of an altered sexual depiction. But after the jury also answered that Grams was a media defendant, the judge removed the defamation count from the final judgment, citing Florida's pre-suit notice law for journalists. Megan Thee Stallion and her lawyers argue the move was a manifest legal error. The court, they said, had previously ruled twice that Graham was not a media defendant and therefore not entitled to those protections. The case should have not been tried and was rightfully tried on the merits of Megan Thee Stallion's defamation claim, the filing states. The rapper's legal team detailed why Graham shouldn't be considered press. According to trial evidence, Milagro Grams wasn't neutral or independent. She allegedly acted as a paid mouthpiece for Lanez and his father, Sunstar Peterson. Megan's lawyer said Grams received $3,000 in payments, free travel, and gifts while spreading false claims that Megan lied about being shot. Text and Instagram DMs entered into evidence showed Grams calling herself part of the Peterson family and publicly dismissing journalism ethics as not applicable to her. Jurors heard that Grams built her mob radio brand off of attacking Megan's reputation, accusing her of mental illness, alcoholism, and fabricating the 2020 shooting. Despite finding those statements defamatory, jurors became confused by a last-minute legal question added to the verdict form, whether Grams qualified as a media defendant. The yes answer led the court to strike the defamation count, though Megan still prevailed on her emotional distress and deepfake video claims. Megan Thee Stallion and lawyers now seek to restore the defamation verdict, asserting that the media defendant question was improper. They said the jury had no authority to decide a legal classification that the court had already settled. No court has ever extended media defendant status to a defendant who supplies and receives information to affect criminal proceedings while maintaining a paid and intimate relationship with the accused, the motion argues. Megan's motions asked the judge to strike the jury's media designation and reinstate the original verdict on defamation per se. The court has yet to file on her request. I actually find that to be very, very interesting because, and you know how we've even talked about like jury instructions on this show before, and how like a lot of times it's really hard for 12 people to agree on something. But for this court to say that she was not a media defendant, those journalistic protections do not apply to her because before she wasn't. They said she wasn't independent, she wasn't impartial, she whatever words they use. She didn't report fair, basically, was what they were saying. And they got like screenshots and DMs and text messages of her saying, oh, well, I don't need to do, all the journalism rules don't apply to me in this situation. So yeah, I think Megan's lawyers are absolutely right. Like, what you mean? How is the jury, these 12 regular people who don't practice law, how are they going to determine what is and what is not a media defendant?
She's a blogger. She's never been a journalist. I could see if she's an ex-journalist who was fired from somewhere and started a blog, but she's never been a journalist. How did they even give her that status?
Right.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Get her, Megan.
Get her, and do not let that girl ponytail go. She tried you. Well, y'all remember our next story. Y'all remember the other day where was it the other day or maybe it was even last week where I said out of nowhere I must have been really bored because Papoose and Clarissa Shield was on the Breakfast Club and I watched that whole interview for an hour, honey.
Yes.
Now, one thing I did notice that Pap, he did that because they kept asking him questions about Remy and Pap chose to not really answer it. But in one thing he did say, like, man, y'all know me, y'all know how it is. Does that even sound right or whatever? Well, honey, Remy, because the word on the curb is like Remy is holding things up. Remy keep trying to like push things up. No, honey, it's actually Papoose, and I actually believe this to be true. That is Papoose. Why? Because Papoose is a Pisces man, and I talk about Pisces men all the time on this show, baby. They love unnecessary chaos. And this next, I have a video clip here of Remy Ma pretty much telling Papoose, "Nigga, sign the papers. I'm done. You done. I don't even want child support. Sign the papers." So let me and shout out to is that Ashley Shy Miller, who was nice enough to post this video on her Twitter. So let me share my screen and let me full screen her.
A, that's not who this is now. Now he's a wife. Listen, this is what I would like. Papoose, you have my lawyer's information. If you can't afford to retain a lawyer, since your lawyer that the number you gave us has not been retained yet, I told you I'll paper it. If somebody over there that loves you wants to paper it, great. That will make me happy. Everything is signed and ready to go. I don't want nothing. I'm not even asking for child support. My daughter's school, her babysitter, her nanny, her gymnastics, her swimming, her dancing, her healthcare, her all of that. I take care of it like I've always done. I don't need anything. Stop making these people think that I'm stopping you or anybody from.
I believe every word Remy is saying, honey. Every word. But my thing is though, I really hate, especially in Remy's case, I hate when women say, "I'm not even asking for child support." No, girl, but put child support on their record. Make his ass responsible for something. Because the thing is, remember, for those of us who watch Love and Hip Hop when Remy and Papoose was on with all that black love, black love, black love. I was the one over here in the corner, like, hold up, this don't look right because the way he keep pressuring her to have a baby after she has already told him, look, I'm not looking to do that right now. I'm looking to really get my. I just got out of jail. I'm trying to make Remy pop once more. I'm trying to get back out there. Oh well, no, I want you to have my baby. I mean, just kept pressuring her about that baby. And now that the baby is here, now you want to say, oh, I don't even want child. No, girl, make him come out them pockets since he wanted that baby so bad. Mm-mm.
It
But
must be something he wants that he's not getting. He might want something she doesn't want anything, but yeah,
mhm,
something's not right here if he won't sign. Because the
right
person let you off scot free, why wouldn't you sign? You know?
there, you go. You asking the right question. That would be that's like every man's dream, honey. Anybody who's going through a messy divorce and then she comes out and say, "Listen, I don't even want shit from you, baby." Girl. Anybody got a pen? You got a pen in your purse?
Fill her up and sign this shit before she change her mind. No child support, no health care, no nothing. She don't want nothing, and he won't sign. Oh yeah, he wants something.
To control her body. He want autonomy over her. That's all. That's the only thing I can guess. He wants to do any and everything that he can to have control over Remy Ma.
I wonder how Clarissa feels about that.
She's stupid. The way she was acting in that interview, and I remember I even told you, the way she was just talking was turning me off. It was like because those of us who know, like, or who watch the Breakfast Club, we know that Papoose is like they're all cool. Like Papoose is cool with Charlemagne, he's cool with DJ Envy. They like they be texting each other and stuff. It's been like that for a long time because it's especially with DJ Envy and Papoose is a New York like brotherhood thing. So they know Papoose. They know him very well. They know about his relationships. And then what Clarissa was up there doing during that interview, she said, I mean, he not the type of person that like to sit there and talk like that. I'm like, first of all, little girl, you don't think they know that about him already? Second of all, you look foolish. And to be completely honest, y'all, I don't think that girl is in the men. I don't know what's going on, but she really gives me like old school BD, where I don't want to say the word, but y'all know what I say when I say when I say BD.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. That's what she's giving. It's I don't. Mm-mm,
You ain't buying it.
I'm not buying it. Something
Maybe
about
you
that
will.
ain't right.
Hmm.
I did see she just came out and denied that she was pregnant. I saw a video clip about that. I don't know how old that is though, or if it just came out. But that leads me to believe that he probably over there pressuring that little girl to have a baby. And
Child,
I'm
I don't
calling
know
her a little girl, but she over 30, but she's still a little girl.
what interview or something she was doing, talking about she got a small waist. I'm like, girl, where? I mean, I ain't saying she fat, but a small waist. Come on, girl. Ain't nothing about you small anywhere.
Well, her brain.
Ooh,
That wasn't nice, Auntie. That was not nice.
no, Auntie,
Look,
but I'll allow it.
honey, she need to. That interview was just. I'm like, I was just shook my head the whole time. Well, believe it or not, I actually got 3 more stories left. So, now this next story, I'm pretty sure y'all don't know who we have talked about this girl before, Whitney Purvis, who was on the show 16 and Pregnant. And I think at the time when we talked about it, the only person in the room who knew who this person was Favorite Taurus. Well, we're gonna talk about her again today, honey. She actually did because speaking of child support, she actually made sure she was like, look, I ain't about to go to jail, honey. Let me get this together. So y'all see where it says here by way of TMZ, 16 and pregnant star Whitney Purvis avoids arrest in child support case. So Whitney Purvis has avoided arrest in her ongoing child support case after coughing up a hefty payment ordered by a judge, TMZ has learned. According to court docs obtained by TMZ, the 16 and pregnant alum was on the brink of being arrested after the court found she'd fallen more than $23,000 behind on child support for the kids, Weston Jr. and River, with ex Weston Gosa. The judge ordered Purvis to be taken into custody and jailed unless she paid a $4,000 lump sum purge payment to avoid jail time. Court docs now show she paid the full amount, so the judge rescinded the order before she was ever arrested. Purvis is still on the hook moving forward because she's been ordered to continue paying $353 per month in current child support plus $20 per month towards the arrears, along with additional processing fees. We broke the story. Purvis was previously in police custody after being arrested on a felony involuntary manslaughter charge tied to an alleged fatal overdose. Police claim she intentionally distributed trank of fentanyl xylazine mixture, which they say caused John Mark Harris to die from a toxic overdose. She also faces 2 additional drug charges, including possession with intent to distribute. The arrest came just weeks after the death of her teenage son, Weston Jr.
What in the
Baby.
world? This story got a lot of what the fuck's in.
Baby, this is
Oh,
when I tell you this is ghetto, this is ghetto, honey.
deep, deep ghetto.
Mm-mm.
She couldn't even keep up with $350 in child support and was that far behind. She ain't never paid for those kids.
At all.
And only $20. So she paid 4,000 out of 20 something thousand. And all she got to pay is $20 a month toward that. Oh,
Yeah, that sounds like a student loan agreement, honey. She gonna be paying that for a long ass time. Them kids gonna be about 40 years old when she's still paying.
older than that. That's crazy.
We have a comment. She was on a teen pregnancy show, and she's a deadbeat. Oh well, yes, yes.
She didn't even want the kids. Ain't that something? And now the one of the kids died from a drug overdose.
No, not the kid. I forgot how did Weston Jr. die. Let me see, because the guy who died, that's what she got arrested for. That guy uh dying at the result of her getting some drugs from her. But Weston Jr. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah,
Whitney.
who is that? The baby daddy or somebody else?
I think it was somebody else. That was the story that we talked about. Well, when because we talked about it being her being arrested, but it wasn't. I don't think it was the baby daddy.
Oh, okay.
Because the baby daddy's name is something Gosa, and the guy who was killed, his name was John Mark Harris. Look, I'm sitting here trying to type. I put type Whitney. I meant to type Whitney Purvis in my stupid ass. This how you know a bitch is gay because I type Whitney Houston.
Mine went straight to Whitney.
Hmm.
Nip. Come on, Nippy.
Okay. Oh, it says so her eldest say official cause of death remains unknown, but it says his death could have been prevented. So yeah, he died at the age of 16 back in June 2nd.
And he was her what?
Oldest son. This is
Oh,
Weston Jr. Hmm.
but not by Mr. Gosa. It's by somebody else.
It's Mr. Gosa because it said the man's name is so it says 16 and pregnant. Star Whitney Purvis said her teenage son Weston's death could have been prevented if her ex-husband Weston Lewis Gosa Sr. had gotten him health insurance. The
Okay, that's
former
what I said, that this was her child. Like, okay.
Weston Jr. Yep, that's her child, and that's the one who died. But the child's father, that's the one who did not die. She killed
Right.
somebody else with that trank.
Oh, I see. She's involved in the deaths of someone else.
Mm-hmm.
But her own son died of, oh,
Of needing health insurance, apparently.
mm,
Yeah, this like you
that,
said, this story have a whole bunch of what the fuck.
yeah, for real.
Well, another what the fuck story. While we sit here talking about the people from MTV, honey. Do y'all know Bam Margera?
Mm-hmm.
Margera. Mm-hmm. Well, he got him his own little nasty child support thing going on, honey. What is y'all got going on at MTV, honey? And y'all see where it says here by way of TMZ, Bam Margera agrees to pay $2,500 every month in child support. So Bam Margera has agreed to pay $2,500 per month in child support to his estranged wife, Nikki Boyd, TMZ has learned. According to court documents obtained by TMZ, payments are due to start on the 1st of January for Bam and Nikki's 8-year-old son, Phoenix. The papers state Nikki has agreed to provide and maintain Phoenix's healthcare coverage. This comes after Nikki initially requested Bam to pay her $15,000 per month, claiming Bam's net worth was around $55 million. But now it looks like they came to an agreement for a much lower monthly amount. The aftermath of the couple's split has been super messy. Bam previously claimed their 2013 wedding wasn't even legitimate because they said "I do" in Iceland, where they were not residents and they never did any official paperwork in the U.S. Bam's substance abuse made matters even worse. Nikki and her legal team insisted Bam's alcohol use required his contact with Phoenix to be monitored. Now Bam says he's sober, which is something he says his new wife Danny Marie should get credit for. Bam told us Danny laid down the law with him, saying if he drank alcohol, it was basically the same as cheating. The two wed in 2024. Danny Marie must got some good pussy, honey. Because for you to tell an alcoholic, they say, look, this is just like cheating. So if you drink alcohol and he does it, oh, he must want that, honey. And shout out to Danny Marie and her good puss. But
What was he doing on MTV? This is not the ridiculousness guy.
no, jackass.
Oh, a jackass person.
And
Oh.
he wasn't Bam. Wasn't he the one that used to beat up his daddy all the time?
I have no idea.
Yeah, he used to slap his daddy around. Millennial, I know it's some millennials up in this room. Y'all answer me. I know because I know we was all watching that shit on MTV and we had no business doing it. Now let me Google it since my millennials in the chat don't want to help. Let me see. Bam
Yeah,
Margera.
I didn't watch the jackass stuff.
Mm-hmm.
2,500 is a big jump from 15,000, but okay.
Yes, it is. Oh, he said he's never okay. Y'all never. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a pass this time. But yep, Bam, because his dad was Phil Margera, and he used to they used to be like a prank. They used to just and Bam was really young at the time. He was around our age, and he would just his dad trying to take a shit and shit and reading a newspaper, and Bam just go in there and just start beating the man up like he owed him money. It was crazy.
And that was supposed to be a prank?
Yes. Matter of fact, let me see if they got it on you. I know they got some on YouTube so well. Let me see.
Wow.
She was like, hold up now. Girl, let me tell Jackass baby, all them even today, they when these men pass on, when they meet their demise, I really think that their brains need to be taken in, for research. Honey, the stuff that they used to do for a camera, like okay, we see how like so people say social media and it's partially true. Social media has given people this what's this word I'm looking for? Maybe this false sense of accomplishment, like they are this and that and stuff like that, and they do stuff for clout. But baby, these jackass they was really doing the wildest shit for to be recorded on TV. Like Steve-O from Jackass. He had a movie, his own movie called The Career Ender. Do you know that this man took his ball sack and stapled it to his thigh? And
Mm.
yes, that was supposed to be a prank. Stapling your ball sack to your thigh as a prank. Child. Jackass was that was a Yeah, honestly, that's probably why a lot of millennials aren't really easily moved because the shit that we ain't had no business watching that shit growing up. But let me I'm looking for Bam Margera and Ed Margera.
That's crazy.
Mm. Okay, I found a video. This is like a 13-second. And rest in peace to Phil Margera being abused by his son on a regular basis for TV. This only a 15-second clip.
Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and you're watching.
It's Roman Jackass, you stupid!
You're on my knee again. You're on my knee. I can't even kick you away. You're on my.
Baby, when I tell you that used to get us excited, honey, ah, girl, yes.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I, they had a documentary about somebody who was like a wrangler for drug addicts and putting them into this controversial program. I think this guy was on there. How they was trying to allegedly get him help, and it was messy.
You might be right. Let me see. Bam Margera rehab. Um, oh yeah, well he did go to rehab for drug abuse, but I'm not seeing anything about the show. Maybe I'm just not looking right, but yeah, it sounds about right.
Netflix or something. Yeah, I remember watching something, and I believe he was on there, and how he was acting and all that. Now he might have eventually wound up in rehab. I don't know if it was with these people though.
I'm just laughing at you, honey, looking at that video saying, because the only thing I can think about, oh, he gonna make me have to go in my purse.
So stupid.
Oh, well, y'all, the last story I have for us today. So, our former vice president, the amazing Kamala Harris, honey, she actually has some advice for those of you who are looking to get out there and date. So, let me share this TMZ link that I have here. So, she was just on the Rich Little Broke Girls podcast, and y'all see where it says here by way of TMZ. Kamala Harris gives hilarious dating advice to younger women on this podcast. So let me share my screen and let's see what Madam VP had to say, honey.
For anyone who is single, who wants to be in a relationship, is to be kind to yourself and choose to be with someone who is kind. I mean, and there are different phases in your life, and depending on what phase you're in, maybe you're going to choose that you want to have that kind of Friday night relationship, or you
Yes.
want that Sunday morning relationship.
Sometimes they go together and
And
sometimes they don't.
sometimes you can get both, and
Mhm,
sometimes
mhm.
they just is oil and water.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
And so, and that's okay. You know, you be in those phases where you are having fun.
And I love what she said, but the problem is these men aren't fun. Heterosexual women are not having fun.
They're not having fun, baby.
They are honey. They are like fighting for their lives, honey, out here in the field, baby. But I mean, yes, she's absolutely right. You should definitely want to find somebody kind. You should definitely want to be kind to yourself. Um, and definitely like, but the problem is a lot of us ignore red flags when we're dating. A lot, and I'm guilty of doing it myself. So a lot of us do
We
that.
all been,
Huh?
we all been there.
Hmm.
Every single one of us has done that. Ignored red flags, and for the sake of companionship. I mean, a lot of us learn better, but still, we've done it.
We have done it, and that's the thing. I want a lot of us to give ourselves like a little bit more grace than what we do, because we're like, I should have known who that stupid ass nigga. But a lot of times we don't go into a relationship saying, "Oh, I want to be mistreated." We a lot of times we are that person is treating us like they are an upstanding person and leading us to believe that this will be a good relationship, and then all of a sudden there's a good switch. People do that. People switch up. So I mean, I don't do that. You know, you what you see is what you get. I'm gonna tell you up front, ain't shit. So look, baby, before we get into a relationship, ain't shit. So if you looking for somebody to be shit, I'm an Aries. But yeah, but that's the problem. A lot of us are really not honest going into the. So this was good advice, Madam President, but you can say it all day, baby. But she's how long she been married to that man, Doug Imhoff? Baby, you might need to I don't know, leave this one to the experts who out here in the field, because the girls are being kind to themselves. The problem is they're not being treated kindly. That's the problem. Let me see. How long was Kamala? Let me see. Yeah, when did Kamala marry Doug? Okay, so August 22nd of 2014. So it's been a little bit over a decade. So yeah, baby, you might need to get out into in the field, before we before you try to give advice like that.
Yeah. I think the main problem is not that you run into someone who doesn't treat you well, is that you accept that, maybe thinking you can change them, or things will get better. Things are not going to get better. I don't care what that man says, because people do still want, a good relationship. They want to get married. They want, that dream still exists for a lot of people. Not so much as maybe 30 years ago, but a lot of people still have that dream of, finding their person, and, getting a house and having kids and all of that. But yeah, don't let people mistreat you.
Mm.
Don't spend years of your life waiting for somebody to meet your expectations and, you know, string you along because you don't.
And I hate to have to say this, and then this little caveat here. If you absolutely have to put yourself through that, at least get something out of it. Don't put yourself through all that for nobody with no damn money. That is so stupid. I'm sorry. I've, and I know people in my immediate circle that is putting up with the craziest shit with a broke nigga. I could at least if the nigga had a little bit of money, then maybe I'd be like, okay, let me put on some big shades and get my best Mary J. Blige not gonna cry on, like, give that. But no, you're not getting, and don't let me bring up that orgasm gap.
Ooh, no, that's a whole other conversation.
Baby,
Yeah. Come
I
out
just
of it
don't
with
care.
some good jewelry or something, something, something.
Right.
Yeah,
I
and
don't.
that's the hard part. Watching women spend 10 years waiting on some man, and will have kids with him, and they found their person, and then they move on. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No way.
No way indeed.
Because men,
Well,
once they know you want that, they'll capitalize on it and lead you, string you right on along.
wake it up. And that old saying, what's that old saying? Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free?
Mm-hmm. Yep. You're always available. You let them move in. You're cooking and cleaning and having the babies, and they don't have any obligation. They just leave whenever they get ready.
And being an unofficial parent to his other children, because there's always more children.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is why I stay out of straight people business, baby. Y'all a little bit too chaotic over there for me. Hey,
Well,
Queen of Happiness. Well, y'all, that was all the tea that I had for us today. So before we head out on this lovely Christmas Eve, did any of you have any tea that you want to share? Any tea that I might have missed? All right, y'all. Well, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come and sip tea with me on this lovely Christmas Eve. We will be back tomorrow or Christmas Day. So when all your other shows that be talking about y'all celebrity tea, where they're gonna be off, no, baby, we're gonna be here talking about the Christmas tea. So join us if you can for at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another live show if you can make it. We will be here for Merry Christmas. And until then, I hope you all have a fabulous Christmas Eve.
bye, everybody. Merry Christmas.